I share this for you to be aware of it, so you might want to look at your own relationship, but also it might be you want to work on your own relationship. Because you can move up these levels, by the way, if there's enough love. There has to be an underlying love in the relationship. Level 3 is probably the most common, actually. This is what I call the modern day balanced couple. You both care about each other, you met, you fell in love, if it's an intimate relationship. Remember, this can also be families. So is it possible that an elder brother or an elder sister or a younger brother or a younger sister is financially supporting other people in the family? We just heard a conversation there where she's got certain members of the family she's kind of bringing together. If everyone is coming to you, they are dependent upon you. Has anyone experienced this, by the way, by show of hands? Who's been in a situation where you've been a strong support for the family in the past? By show of hands, let me see. Okay. Has that continued, or does it just happen every now and again? Or has it always been there? It's always been there, yeah? Okay, that's not unusual then. So you can have a level 2 type relationship in families as well. But I'm talking generally, but if we look at intimate relationships, this is your couple that have met maybe in their youth, they got married, late 20s, early 30s, very strong connection to start with, never did any values assessment, never really understood their values, they just got together. The challenge you've got, just so you know, when any couple gets together is this. It's positive and it's negative. 6 basic human needs, but I'm not going to go through all of them. One of them is variety, another one is security, another one is connection, and another one is significance, another is feeling important. When you meet somebody the first time, you get loads of variety, agreed? When you meet somebody the first time, you get loads of security because you just feel really safe. This is great. I'm in new space here. I'm absolutely sure I can have some fun with this person, and I feel safe because we're connecting and it's all great. So these needs get met very quickly. But the other thing is you're paying a lot of attention to each other when you first meet. Agreed? Significance, that means significance. That means you feel important. This is Maslow, by the way. You feel important because they're showing you a lot of attention. They're giving you lots of variety. Let's go here, let's go to this restaurant, let's go to this place, let's go on holiday. Let's book something for the weekend. Lots of security. Oh, I can't wait. I know they're going to be there and I want to see them on Friday because we're so attracted to each other. And a huge amount of connection. Physical, emotional, sexual, whatever. 4 massive needs met. That's how it starts. But one of the things I've noticed with relationships over time is that drops off. Because you're used to each other now, the compliments stop. Oh my gosh, showing that attention to the person all the time dies off a little bit, and they don't feel as significant. Because you know what? They're always there. They're safe. They're secure. Does that make sense? So it tends to gravitate towards security, which is safe. Not so much variety unless you have kids, but then it's a different type of variety. And the connection is not as passionate now, unless you're working on it. It tends to be a routine, for want of a better word. Routine. Hands up if that makes any sense. And that is, unfortunately, I'm not saying this in a negative way, that is the nature of the dynamics of how relationships flow. And it can last for years and it can be an okay relationship. But ultimately, if you can work on some way between these two, it becomes fantastic, because level 4 is just about growing unconditionally. The problem here is if you don't have the same values, or one of the people in the relationship doesn't want to do this, I'm going to put this word here, grow. Now, by honest show of hands, who has been in or is in a relationship, either now or in the past, where you're with a partner that doesn't necessarily want to grow? We just heard Ashley moan about the money. So your challenge, of course, is this. This is a level 4 relationship, because one person here wants to grow, experience new things. Kids can have the same thing in their friendships. They have a friend that maybe is down here and doesn't want to go and have lots of new experiences. Savannah has travelled a lot this year, and for her that's great. But if she doesn't have friends that want to do that, unless she finds new friends, she's got a choice as an 11-year-old. Does she kind of, as she gets older, compromise to live by their values, or does she choose to keep growing and travelling? Does that make sense? Yes or no? I know you're writing a lot, but that's the same for all of us. So I personally think this is one of the biggest challenges, growth, which is ironic, isn't it? Because here we grow tribes. So the person wants to explore, and I mean physically, emotionally, intimately. There's no fear, because so what if we screw up? So what if we make a mistake? We're doing it together. There's an absolute honesty. We're this was okay for us, but honey, let's grow to another level. Or if it's your parents, they want, Kate Wakefield, who got married recently, and if you remember, but her mum was fantastic. She came to a few of the personal development events that I used to run, and she was at the wedding, and she came up and gave me a big hug. She said, "Thank you so much for all the great experiences we had, and I love doing all that stuff with you. And Kate and I went and did this, we went and did this." It's so nice to see a parent in that space with their children. But that's not so easy to achieve, depending on the parents, depending on the children. In intimate relationships, that is the toughest one to reach and stay there consistently. Yeah, Stina and I, we've worked on this for years, but there's times when you've got kids, you're balancing backwards and forwards, and there's periods where you can't go there because you're literally now responsible for the needs of a younger life. Does that make sense? So suddenly you're sort of floating down here because there's a dependency. So I guess my message, who have parents in the room? If you're looking at this and thinking, oh, that would be frigging Nirvana road. Well, you've also got kids, which puts you back down here. So you have this relationship with your children, and I know this because and I'm saying this openly in front of my own daughter, but we have to provide that emotional security for them, and somehow look after our relationship as well. And you can get out of sync, but it doesn't mean to say that you don't want to do it. It's just that you've lost your way, or just life's got too busy. And part of my role here with you is to say it's okay, but be aware of it. And the minute you're aware of it, you go, yes, that makes sense. By the way, does that make sense? Yes. And then you just go, right, let's get back up to level 4. What do we need to do? Let's do one thing to start with. One little thing. It doesn't have to be huge. But if we don't keep working, I can guarantee you, if you are not doing that by default, you can only go somewhere down to here. And it could be that a relationship could ultimately regress down to here, where, let's just stay together because we've got a mortgage together, we're both working, sorry, I don't see you, go and play football, I go off with the girls, don't really see you very much, maybe occasionally we go out, yeah, what the hell, kids will grow up, we go then, separate. You don't really want that. Agreed? Mm-hmm. Who's seen one of those levels in people around them? Who's seen at least, who thinks most, okay, hands up if you think most of your friends are in a level 3 or a level 2, generally. I would say 90% of the population are there. These tend not to last very long, and you probably have seen them before, you know when they're happening. Okay, tell the person next to you what relationship level you think you've been in most of the time in your previous relationships and your past relationship or your current relationship. So current or past relationship, where do you think you've been? Quick share with the person next to you. And for the kids, maybe in school, with school friendships.